First tonight, President Donald Trump says his Board of Peace has reached an agreement for the complete phased disarmament of Hamas and other armed groups in Gaza. Under the framework, Israeli forces would gradually withdraw as disarmament moves forward, while an international stabilization force would work alongside a new Palestinian police force to secure the territory. Trump said the agreement could clear the way for a new Palestinian government focused on serving Gaza's residents while addressing Israel's security concerns. The announcement marks a major diplomatic development, but implementation remains the key test, with questions still surrounding compliance and the timeline. Making news. President Donald Trump is touting what he describes as a historic surge in investment into the United States, claiming more than $19.2 trillion has been secured in roughly a year. Trump has contrasted that figure with what he says was less than $1 trillion during the Biden administration. However, independent fact-checkers and economic analysts say the $19.2 trillion figure represents announced or claimed commitments, not money already invested, and the White House's own tracking has used lower figures. The claim is part of Trump's broader argument that his tariff and economic policies are attracting unprecedented global capital. Across Europe, thousands of migrants from Morocco crossed into Spain's North African enclave of Ceuta, with many reportedly swimming around border barriers to reach Spanish territory. Regional authorities say more than 1,500 migrants had already arrived by sea during the previous week, adding pressure to the enclave's resources. Ceuta's leader is urging Spain's national government to declare an emergency as officials confront another major surge at the European Union's only land border with Africa. The developments come as President Donald Trump continues warning about rising migration into Europe and calls for stronger border security. Meanwhile, White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller is escalating the immigration debate, warning that Democrats could return the United States to what he described as the kind of uncontrolled migration seen in Spain's North African enclaves. Miller argued that Democratic immigration policies would put American communities at risk and accused the party of favoring weaker border enforcement. His comments come amid renewed attention on migration pressures around Ceuta and Melilla, Spain's territories bordering Morocco. Democrats reject the characterization, while the broader political fight remains centered on border security, immigration enforcement, and how the United States should handle migrants seeking entry. Capitol Hill, Senator Josh Hawley is calling for possible legal action against Dr. Anthony Fauci after Fauci invoked the Fifth Amendment 111 times during a Senate hearing. Hawley argued that the committee could pursue contempt proceedings and accused Fauci of refusing to answer questions about his conduct during the COVID-19 pandemic. Hawley said the repeated Fifth Amendment claims warrant further investigation and prosecution. However, invoking the Fifth Amendment is a constitutional protection and does not itself establish guilt or wrongdoing. Fauci has previously denied misconduct and defended his actions and public health decisions during the pandemic. Now in Washington, President Donald Trump brought Pawn Stars star Rick Harrison to the microphone during a White House Small Business Summit on May 4th. Harrison praised Trump's economic policies, specifically highlighting 100% depreciation, which he said has helped his small business. He also contrasted the Trump administration with the previous administration, saying business owners previously felt negatively portrayed. Harrison then called Trump maybe the best president ever. The appearance was part of an official small business event, not simply a celebrity visit, with Harrison speaking directly about policies affecting entrepreneurs. May Day, anti-ICE protesters gathered outside the White House in Washington on May 1st, calling for a Workers Over Billionaires Day of action. Demonstrators arrived with signs, chants, and microphones as part of the planned protest. But as President Donald Trump departed for Florida aboard Marine One, the helicopter's flight path passed over the demonstration, temporarily overpowering the sound from the rally below. Video of the moment quickly drew attention online, with supporters of Trump portraying it as an ironic interruption. The episode became a viral political moment, highlighting the unpredictable ways protests can unfold in the nation's capital. Republican activist Scott Presler says he personally reviewed Philadelphia County records and saw tens of thousands of people he believes are non-citizens listed on non-juror rolls. Presler says the discovery raises concerns about whether some of those individuals could also appear on voter registration records and is calling for stronger election integrity measures. However, appearing on a non-juror list does not prove someone is registered to vote, voted illegally, or is even a non-citizen. Those records require verification by election officials before conclusions can be drawn. The allegation comes amid a broader national fight over voter eligibility and election security, severe weather. A flash flood emergency was issued near Beulah, Colorado, where thunderstorms triggered dangerous flooding and debris flows across Pueblo County. Roads were inundated as water rushed through areas around the Aspen Acres burn scar, creating potentially life-threatening conditions for drivers and residents. Meanwhile, in New York City, the NYPD is using specialized drones to provide an aerial view of beaches and help lifeguards spot sharks before they approach swimmers. The technology gives beach officials an additional tool for monitoring coastal waters, improving situational awareness, and potentially helping prevent dangerous encounters between sharks and beachgoers. On the trucking front, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy is promoting a new federal campaign to bring more American veterans into the trucking industry, following a crackdown on improperly issued commercial driver's licenses for non-domiciled drivers. The Freedom Haulers Initiative offers veterans pathways into commercial driving, including training assistance and, for some military drivers, streamlined CDL testing. Duffy says trucking companies are already contacting the government, asking how they can hire more veterans. The administration says the effort is designed to strengthen roadway safety and support American workers. The program is part of a broader push to tighten commercial driver licensing standards nationwide. This just in, the Trump Justice Department says federal authorities have uncovered a major taxpayer fraud scheme in Florida involving approximately $20 million in alleged losses tied to SNAP benefits and electronic benefit transfer cards. Prosecutors say multiple defendants were charged in connection with the scheme, including individuals who are not U.S. citizens. One defendant reportedly has a pending final removal order. Authorities say the investigation is part of a broader effort to combat fraud involving federally funded assistance programs. The allegations are now moving through the federal court system, where defendants remain entitled to due process and the presumption of innocence. In Florida, the state is supporting cancer research that includes repurposing existing drugs, and a University of Florida clinical trial is specifically investigating ivermectin combined with immune checkpoint therapy in adults with solid tumors. The Phase 2 study is expected to enroll about 80 patients and is designed to evaluate safety and immune effects, not to prove that ivermectin cures cancer. ClinicalTrials.gov notes that clinical evidence for ivermectin's anti-cancer benefits remains very limited, making rigorous testing important. Florida has also invested more broadly in cancer innovation through the Florida Cancer Innovation Fund. Any claims that this study has already proven ivermectin effective against stage 4 cancer would be premature. In New York City, Mayor Zohran Mamdani is facing criticism over his administration's approach to publicly funded child care programs and access for immigrant families. Mamdani has emphasized New York City's sanctuary city status and said city services should be available broadly, while critics argue taxpayer-funded benefits should prioritize citizens and legal residents. The specific eligibility rules depend on the individual program and funding source, and being undocumented does not automatically mean someone qualifies for every city child care benefit. The controversy has reignited a broader debate over immigration, sanctuary policies, public spending, and eligibility for government-funded services.